today we look at the life of an extraordinary human being who has faced many challenges but has never deprived himself the joy of overcoming obstacles in front of him. South African-born cyclist Jaco van Gass has represented the United Kingdom on multiple tours. He has explored the unforgiving weather conditions of the North Pole, and he is also a Paralympic champion. Jaco, listen to that. Just so much to say about you. A good morning. Thank you so much for joining us on Sports on Morning Live.
Good morning. Thank you very much for having me.
Let's start at the beginning. So you were born in South Africa.
Yeah.
How does it happen that you finally end up moving to the UK, where you end up serving in the army for the UK in 2 tours to Afghanistan?
Well, I found myself after matric, after school, kind of looking for a new adventure. And I kind of stumbled across the fact that because South Africa is part of the Commonwealth, that we are enabled to join their military. And I don't know, I was just like, it just seemed like such a great adventure, something so totally different than what anyone else was doing when all my friends went off to university or finding a job somewhere else. I kind of seek this new adventure. And I went to the UK, back in 2007, in June. I landed on a Saturday, and then on Monday morning, I was in the careers office in London, starting the first paperwork to join the military.
Now, talk to me about joining the military. Other than joining the military and having some amazing things happen to you, including finding a wife in the UK, let's talk to your injury first. How does that happen? How do you, from a mental and psychological point of view, deal with that?
Yeah, it was tough. I done 2 tours to Afghanistan, and it was at the back end of my second tour when I got injured. I was hit by a rocket-propelled grenade. It was a very successful operation, a very successful mission, and it was right at the back end of it, just before the helicopters actually picked us up, that we came across a Taliban stronghold, and that's when the injury occurred, got hit by the rocket. And yeah, it was literally life-changing injuries. I woke up 6 days later out of an induced coma, looking down on myself, realizing that my life has changed forever.
Yeah.
And yes, I would say the first couple of months was very tough, because all I wanted to do was be back in the army. It's the one thing I loved. It's the one thing I knew really well as well. And I just wanted to be back with my comrades. And yeah, it was a very difficult adjustment to kind of go, okay, right, my military career is over. And the unknown of what's coming next was really tough. But I saw that as a new challenge. And I thought, okay, well, let's go and find out what I can and can't do. And I'm sure there's going to be a lot of things I can do, and I'm sure there's going to be more things I can't do. What they are, I don't know. Let's go and find out. And I kind of switched my mindset to that. And every day, from learning to walk again, learning to run again, constantly setting myself new goals and new challenges. And that's how I kind of kept going.
That's very interesting, because you have this life-changing injury, and as soon as you're awake 6 days later, the first thing you want to do is go back to the army?
Yeah, exactly. It was just the way I was programmed. It was literally, I woke up going, right, my arm's missing. I'm sure there's a prosthetic, or there's a way or a method of me holding a rifle again, being able to go back to Afghanistan to go and do the job that I've trained for. It's once I realized the extent of some of my other injuries that I realized, okay, this is going to be much more difficult, potentially not even happening. But yes, as you say, that first thought of mine was, how quick can I go back to join the army?
Okay, so now you realize you've got other injuries other than just losing your arm, and now you have to readjust your entire life plan. So how then do you move into the next chapter of your life, where you move on to become a Paralympic gold medalist? Let's talk through that.
Yeah, it was a very long but a very interesting journey. Like I mentioned before, first of all, I had to kind of focus on getting better. So learning to walk again, learning to run again. And I then had the opportunity to go and actually in Kenya, run a half marathon there in Lewa. And that was a great goal to have. And then that's what I realized, like, I need these challenges, I need these goals to work towards. And then I'm a lot more focused and a lot more driven to better myself. And after having run a half marathon, I obviously had to do a marathon. That's natural. And because I then became much more fitter and more capable and stronger again, an opportunity to kind of go to walk to the North Pole presented itself. I did that. Prince Harry joined us on the North Pole as well on the walk. And then we came back, and I was going through the phase of leaving the army. And at that stage, I was based in London. And the London Paralympic Games in 2012 was hosted. And I went to some of those events, and I was so inspired by these athletes competing to such a high level that I wanted to not be that guy in the seat, in the stand, shouting at him. I wanted to be that athlete, being on the field itself. And that's where my passion came. And I always had a love for cycling. And yeah, I turned my hand to cycling, and basically 8 years later, found myself on the podium in Tokyo.
And as they say, the rest is history, right?
The rest is history.
Talk to me a little bit more about your relationship with Prince Harry, because you've already touched on that a little bit. And as you speak to that, perhaps let's just go into you being awarded the Member of the Order of the British Empire, which is the third highest honour.
Yeah, Prince Harry's a wonderful guy. I've really enjoyed my time.
I love how casually you say, like, just Prince Harry, just like the guy next door.
And I think that's actually the beautiful thing about him. He actually is just that guy next door. When he's around you, when he's, when you're in his company, that's exactly it. And I think sometimes there was a few times I had to pinch myself going, this is Prince Harry. This is, at that stage, he was the third in line of the throne. And he was just a normal guy, and he just made you feel so relaxed around him. And I think that's one of his best qualities, that he is just one of those individuals that, apart from his title, you can actually just be yourself around him. He's a fantastic guy.
Jaco, life isn't easy, and I see here you've brought a copy of your book for us, Unequivocal, Jaco van Gass, From the Afghan Desert to the Paralympic Gold and Taking on Everest. Talk to me about your book here and just what you want the biggest takeaway to be for people that read this book.
We wrote the book with the purpose for quite a wide range of audience. It can literally be your mum. Obviously, I'm a son to someone, so it's for parents to read, to kind of see. It's amazing what kids can go off and do. It's for someone that's adventurous, someone that loves stuff about the North Pole. Attempting Everest. I've scaled the 8th highest mountain in the world, and a few others. And then your cyclist as well. But I think what I would love for people to take away from the book is just to never let life get you down. Is to always believe in that dream and never ever give up. Because no matter what happens to you, you can always achieve whatever you set your mind to.
I love that. And I know we're starting to wrap up with you now, but from everything that you've been through, you've always wanted to take the positive out of it and not focus so much on the negative. How important has your support structure been in that? I mean, I see your beautiful wife coming with you here this morning. Talk to me about that.
It's amazing that you mentioned that. And that's the thing as well that I've learned over the years, that I'm not here and I don't have to do everything on my own. The support structure that I have had has been, the key, the pillar point of my success, to a degree of what I've achieved over the years, of relying on someone else, of sharing my thoughts with someone else, and actually, like I say, having other people to rely on and to support me. It's very important. There's always someone you can trust on and ask for help and support.
Well, Jaco, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We look forward to what's coming up next for you, and we wish you all the best.
Thank you so much.
Jaco van Gass joining us here on Morning Live this morning, speaking about all things about the challenges he's gone through. Now a cyclist, he's won Paralympic gold. Jaco van Gass.